They said, that crazy liberal white woman with no life and 10 cats, I promise you she's going to go vote for abortion tomorrow. Are you too busy practicing games on and stuff like that? Okay, then don't complain when it's enshrined in your Constitution. Joining me now, Greg Price, Communication Director of the Great State Freedom Caucus Network, and Shawn Carney, President and CEO of 40 Days for Life. Shawn, we've been covering this a lot. We always will. Please tell me we're going to win in Ohio.
I hope we do, but this approach in a post-Roe America of we will panic, we will tell people that women are dying in the streets, we will say that young rape victims are in danger of dying, we will use every scare tactic to push abortion through. This is exactly what they did, and I know you've covered it, but this proposition is insane. It allows abortion through all 40 weeks. It allows minors to get an abortion without parental consent. It allows adults to assist minors to get an abortion without parental consent, with no repercussions for the adult who assists the minor to get the abortion. It obviously has the sex changes with no parental consent, but the abortion part is absolutely insane, and it does go through all 40 weeks.
Of course it does. Of course it goes all 40 weeks. Greg, let's do a little rewind here, just so everyone remembers, and it's important we look back on how we've failed terribly. Why is the red state of Ohio, very red now, used to be purple, very red, why is the red state of Ohio, why is there even an option to enshrine abortion in the state's constitution, Greg?
Well, it's very simple, Jesse, and that is the pro-abortion side is extremely motivated and extremely well-funded, extremely loud, extremely angry, a lot more so than our side, which is very, very disappointing. And you've seen, in states everywhere all over the country, abortion has become, abortion bans in particular have become electoral poison for our side for those various reasons. And so I think this in Ohio is a legitimate test for the pro-life movement, because this isn't even a ban. It's a constitutional amendment to continue to enshrine abortion in the Constitution. And if we can't, keep that out of the Constitution in a ruby red state like Ohio, we got a real problem. It's a legitimate test. I think it's also something that hasn't been talked about too often, a legitimate test for the faith community too. Like, if you're so committed to the pro-life movement and protecting unborn life as you claim to be, faith leaders and faith institutions have to be heavily involved, and this is going to be a real test and to see just how motivated our side is to get out there and vote to protect life.
Shawn, I'm glad Greg brought up this point. Look, simple numbers-wise, the amount of Christians, Catholics, whatever, the amount of church-going people in Ohio, I have no doubt, exceeds the number of people who love abortion by orders of magnitude. Therefore, this shouldn't even be close. So I have to ask, even though I already know the answer, where are the Christians?
Well, this has been, I think, a positive on this front from what I've seen, because typically you get things like this and you never hear from anybody. But the Catholic bishops of all the dioceses of Ohio have spoken strongly and told people to vote no. They poured $1 million into the campaign. It's encouraging news. We always don't get a lot of encouraging news from clergy. But the Catholic bishops I know have done a lot. They've poured $1 million into it. They've been adamant. Everything y'all are saying, it just doesn't make sense. I agree with you. This is Ohio. In a lot of ways, this is the birth of the pro-life movement. This is where pregnancy centers started before Roe v. Wade legalized abortion. Cincinnati is one of the most pro-life towns in the United States, if not the most pro-life major cities in the United States. There's a lot going for our side. I am worried about the wording. This was the problem in Kansas last year when abortion won. The Kansas, you walk up to vote and you're pro-life, you better have like 3 lawyers with you to explain what the heck it is you're trying to vote for. It is very confusing when you read the wording that's on the ballot. It's basically, do you want to be good and help healthcare, or do you want to be horrible? And it's word salad, it's long-winded, and people need to know, in the end, vote no.